In the past, alcohol was used by our forefathers during special occasions, and consumption depended on age or status in the society. Today, alcohol consumption is open to anyone, young people being the single largest group of consumers. When confronted with the question of alcohol dependency, many people are often quick to dismiss its existence in them. This blatant denial poses the greatest challenge in the fight against alcoholism. Alcoholism is a progressive disease that increasingly affects a person's health, job, family, and social life. The passing of the infamous Mututho Law, aimed at regulating drinking patterns in the country, has not been wholly effective due to a variety of factors such as easy accessibility to liquor and people's unwillingness to stop drinking. 35-year-old Gerald Bashira, a graduate of Utalii College, is a recovering alcoholic currently seeking help at Utan for Christ Rehabilitation Center in Nairobi. For Gerald, what started as a social pastime 15 years ago turned into a destructive, debilitating disease.
December 2011 is when it became worse. The whole from 25th Christmas, I drank my head off. Daily, I was drunk daily. From 25th, the whole of January, I couldn't stop. First it was social, as in friends. Slowly by slowly, stopped going to church. Then I started drinking. So you start taking, you start with beer, basically. Then beer didn't make you high. So you go to the harder stuff, Kenya King, King Extra, Master, Brandy. So, you start drinking slowly. It comes to a point that you can't stop. You're unable to eat. You start losing your appetite.
Some of the signs of alcohol dependency include craving, loss of control, physical dependence, and tolerance.
It said that, and it is known that alcohol can affect most of the body systems. If you start with your brain, it can shrink your brain, what we usually call brain atrophy. Atrophy means the brain has shrunk.
There are times I used to come and I sleep outside. I've slept outside in our car, outside our house, in the gate. Like, not even once, because you're so high. So when you come late, don't even know, you just come and collapse there and you sleep. In the mornings when you're wondering, I slept outside. There are things you do and you forget, you get a blackout. It became so bad that they decide, hey, you can't stay with your mom. Because they know if you get a job, you lose your job because of drinking. It's a disease. In fact, even my mom sometimes used to come and I abuse her. It's true. And then you don't remember. I'm like, I don't remember this. The other day I had my keys. I came, they fell down. I couldn't open the gate. Because you can't. You forget stuff. As in, you did this yesterday. I forgot. I didn't know. I can't remember. That's why the things I used to do and I couldn't remember.
So it will also affect your sleep. Some people have said that they can't sleep without drinking alcohol. When you have taken alcohol for a very long time, then you affect your cycle of sleep and wake sleep cycle, so that you need the substance for you to fall asleep.
In the morning, instead of thinking about tea, first of all, what do you say? Kutoa lock. As in, I have to take one to start the day. As in, the way you wake up and you take tea. So I have to take one drink so that I can be able to take tea and do the rest of the things. The drinking was so terrible that even people in the estate, you are the drunk of the estate. I have ever walked in the middle of the road. Cars were moving out of the way. So this guy was so angry, he wanted to beat me. But he's like, this guy he doesn't even know where he is. He's saying he's walking home. He's in the middle. There's a friend of mine who pulled me away from the road. If I didn't come to U-turn, I would have died. You look unkempt. So I believe that when you're drinking, you're destroying your life. Because even if you wanted a wife sincerely, you can't get one. Because they'll run away. You're good, yeah. When you're sober, you're so good. But when you drink, you become a different person. You become intoxicated. You behave different. Your character changes. You're something different from, you're not yourself. These hard liquors, Okay, you start with 1, then you go to 2. You don't know the limit. You can even fall in the middle of the road, and you can even fall in a ditch. You will not even realize. When you wake up is when you realize, I thought I slept at home, I'm outside. And then you get blackouts. You can't remember what you did yesterday.
Drinking turned his life into a nightmare. He lost every job he ever had. It consumed him, ruining his relationship with his family and turning him into a violent vagrant.
They threatening, okay, abuse everyone in the house. And then in the morning, I'm like, I can't remember. When you drink a lot, like you start with the first bottle. I had reached, how many did you used to drink? I had reached about 6 in a day. If you have money, 6. Okay, next, I can take 6. The first one is slowly with the soul. After that, conk. So when you take that much, I think your brain goes into a lock. And then you can't, okay, you lose something, you start forgetting. I think your brain starts shrinking because the more you're drinking, like now, I can remember everything we did yesterday.
Dennis Katembo's call for help eventually came after his close encounter with death. What started as a lazy afternoon drinking spree with friends turned out to be the wake-up call he so desperately needed.
We are so drunk, you plus the driver. We are so drunk. We had a road accident. And we are 4 of us. Unfortunately, 2 of them died. The last thing I can remember, you had just been picked up. We had rolled. So unfortunately, okay, I found myself in the hospital. At first, it was fun. You know, this peer pressure, you want to go out.
Dennis is also a recovering addict at U-Turn for Christ Rehabilitation Center in Nairobi. A graduate of a local college, he has been drinking since 1997.
When I joined college, that's when I started serious drinking. Pressure then from my background, pressure from home.
People drink for various reasons: peer pressure, low self-esteem, and family issues, among others.
We are not so much killed my mother, bearing the fact that, okay, she had just divorced my dad. And being the last born, we're only 2 of us, being the last born. Okay, I thought like, nimeachanisho. So I drank seriously. Then some friends of mine, they introduced me to drugs. Continued drinking to my workplace. But unfortunately, every time I used to be sacked. I won't spend this amount of cash and save the other. But most of the time, I remember, I used to go with a lot of cash to a bar. I end up either being beaten and losing all the money, or I break out.
People under the influence of alcohol are at a higher risk of contracting HIV. This is mainly due to constant blackouts, memory lapses, and the inability to control one's action.
Some people might get AIDS because once you are intoxicated and then you lose sense of yourself, some people they indulge into careless sex, unprotected sex.
Okay, I was a guy, I was in so much girls. I remember I would date so many chicks. I don't remember actually very much the way I was telling them, but most of the time I woke up. I normally used to wake up and find some chick next to me.
Research by NACADA shows that 36% of young people in Kenya are on the verge of becoming alcoholics, whereas 70% of Kenyans are habitual drinkers. The passage of time has seen these numbers grow into alarming levels.
You never know when they are going to get intoxicated and cause a serious accident. You never know when they are going to get intoxicated and commit suicide. You never know when they are going to get intoxicated and kill their families and kill themselves. So whatever method that is available for these people to get help is welcome, whether it is force, threat, or whatever it is, because these people are not in touch with their own with their own lives and circumstances.
Treatment for alcoholism includes both counseling and medication. Each year, people die and others are hospitalized as a result of excessive alcohol consumption in Kenya.
Treatment of an alcoholic begins with the alcoholic actually owning up to the fact that he needs help and therefore coming to the health provider. Once he comes to the health provider, then he's classified as either a person who is dependent on alcohol or a person who is just abusing alcohol. But remember, an abuser can become a dependent. So if the person is dependent on alcohol, that is the serious form of it is more serious than abusing. So if the person is dependent on alcohol, dependence in this sense will mean that if the body of this person has no alcohol, then he doesn't feel like it is his body. And that is why he goes to top up take more so that he can come back to himself.
About my mom or my sisters or my in-laws or my cousins, it was my own personal decision. Will you stop?
After that accident, I realized I wasn't born to drinking.
Dennis' story is not different from that of many addicts. It all starts as a fun activity with friends and progresses into a daily routine that eventually ruins lives. Prolonged effects of alcoholism include heart damage, high blood pressure and risk of stroke, liver cirrhosis, cancer of the digestive system, sexual impotence and reduced fertility, increasing risk of breast cancer.
This cancer of the liver, cancer of the stomach, inflammation of the pancreas. But those statistics are not with me at the point. But people do die because of alcohol complications. Detoxification is a process in which we convert our body, a patient's body, from a drug-using state to an undrug-using state in a humane way. It is usually done in a hospital. Basically, its aim is to make the person not feel bad without alcohol, because they feel bad if there is no alcohol in their system.
As Jared puts it, alcohol is addictive. It is hard to avoid once you're an addict.
It sparkles in the glass, but it bites like a serpent. You'll start drinking and you feel high. The first time you will be happy. In the end, it will cause you tears. You'll go to cop station. Either you die, you'll be jailed, or it will harm you. Take a sip, it will trigger. I'm sure it will trigger. So for me, I believe I'm not supposed to even take a sip because it will trigger that urge. It's like how you feel thirsty, like I want a soda. So when you drink the first, you feel, hey, I want more and more and more. And then you don't have self-control.
For addicts, stay away from places that could remind you of those days you used to drink. And also, change the company of your friends if they might lure you into drinking again.
The friends that you are relating with that are drinking, keep away from them. You can look for new friends. The first temptation is, I believe, don't walk into a bar. It will be very tempting.
People who suffer from alcoholism need to be supported, not condemned.
When I meet an alcoholic, I don't go to shout. You are drunk, you are hopeless, you are, I don't know, prostitute or what. No, don't condemn. Love, listen. The first thing is to listen. And I start from myself, my history, how I drank, where and what happened to me. After that, you encourage him. He's not the only one. There are so many people there who have the same problem. So we listen and we try to get help from people who have traveled that road. So in that way, you will win many people.